This tutorial looks at Accelerator Share, which is part of the Solid Edge subscription option. So what is Accelerator Share? Accelerator Share provides an easy project collaboration tool to allow you to share files, markups, comments, etc. with colleagues and customers. Share will help you collaborate without having to duplicate files using such things as pack and go, and ensures that you don't end up with multiple copies of the same data set. So the main features will include the ability to organize your files in projects, share these projects across distributed teams, so that could be colleagues or customers or anyone else that you need to share information with, and also allows you to do view, markup, send messages, and create and manage tasks. One of the main things that you get with Accelerator Share is cloud storage. So for each site, you will end up with a minimum of 500 gigabytes of cloud storage, and for each license, you'll add in an extra 5 gigabytes of storage. So as I said earlier on, this is only part of the subscription, or also known as software as a service or SaaS, and customers who currently have perpetual licenses can convert them across to subscription when they renew their maintenance, and this will give them access to this tool. So there are two components to Accelerator Share. One is the admin console, and the other is the Accelerator Share program as well. So the admin console is used to view the products that you have assigned under the subscription, assign, add, and manage administrators, and you can also view the cloud usage that you have. Within the admin console, there are three main areas. One is product, and on the left hand side of the main screen you'll see the products purchased. Accelerator Share will be the main one that you'll see here, and then within the main area you'll see something that describes the utilization of your users and storage. And under assigned users, you'll see who has been assigned as administrators, information about what they are, who they are, what access rights they have, and then below that you will see license details, and that will show which products you have. So obviously Accelerator Share storage and Solid Edge in my case here. So moving on, the second button down on the left, you'll see Manage Admins, and this gives you access to be able to manage the account administrators for Accelerator Share console, and account administrators can manage subscriptions and end users. Then the third button is product configuration, and this is necessary for providing authentication credentials for such projects as Teamcenter Active Workspace, Polarian, OpCenter, and so on. So when you log into your admin console, as I showed earlier, you'll see that you have the three buttons that I mentioned. So under product, you get the Accelerator Share option, and here you can see that we've got a maximum of 5 users. I've only assigned one at this stage, which is myself, and I've also got a maximum of 550 gigabytes available. So under assigned users, you can see that we have myself listed in here as active, and we can also see license details. So you can see that we have under this license the Accelerator Share storage, so 500 gigabytes here and another 5, and this also shows how many users that we have under here. So if I wanted to add a new user, I can just come in here, click on the assign user and put in the email address and specify whether they're going to be an application owner or a member. You'll see these little pop-ups as well. So you can see that application owner is someone who can manage the application, company's objectives and requirements and manage security protocols, whereas a member has access and view shared project data in a cloud collaboration workspace from a read-only point of view. So the second option over here are account administrators. So again, doing a similar sort of thing. I'm the only admin at the moment. We could add someone else in. Again, you just need to add an email address, a first and last name, and click add to add them in. Alternatively, if you click on one, you can just then remove it. As I only have Solid Edge as a available option, the product configuration doesn't really apply to this account. Then we have the help it stuff. So this gives you FAQs. So that sort of tells you how to do things, and then you can have a product tour as well. So that will sort of guide you through the various components of the interface as I have just explained. And lastly, you'll have an area here which allows you to manage alerts, and finally your login information. So you can edit the profile if you want to come back in. This is my Enterprise Cloud account number. I've named this account as CCL Share, and if I wanted to, I could put a description, and then when you're setting up, you will have specified what is your primary region. So I'm working in the Asia Pacific, and you can sign out from here. So that sort of covers the admin console, and we'll now look at the main Accelerator Share console itself. The Accelerator Share console is split into 3 areas like the admin. To start off with, you have the home section, and it will return you to this view of your data where you can create projects, upload to your home folder. Home folder is being a specific folder just for yourself, which can't be shared. You can take a tour of the interface, and you can install the desktop connector from here as well. It'll also show you your latest projects and files that you've been accessing. Second one down is the projects, and this is going to show you which projects you have access to. You can either choose all projects, my projects, shared by me, or shared with me. And finally, the taskboard is used to display and edit tasks that have been set up. So within the project environment, you'll have the main tools at the top, which allow you to create a new project, share the project with others, and download files or delete the project entirely. With the project, you'll see a list of files, and above that you will see the tools available to work on the project. So it gives you options to download or upload files. You probably only want to download if you haven't got the connector working. You can create and edit folders, delete files from the project, set the project snapshot photo, edit the displayed columns, and create a message or a task. For each of the files listed, you'll see a list of options, and for such things as solid edge files, you'll have the option to do a view and markup or prepare that file for augmented reality work. So getting into Accelerator Share, you go to cloud.sw.siemens.com/share in the browser, click on the sign in, enter your email address and click continue, enter your password, and then that logs you in. So the first step that you want to do when you get it going is to install the desktop connector. So we click on that and that will download the connector, and it's just a small file. So if we show that in the folder, just double click on that and that will ask us to set the terms and install. So this is what's going to synchronize and create a local cache for your files and allow you to access the share from within Solid Edge. So once we've done a restart after installing the connector, we want to create a project, and you just need to fill in the name, add a description if you want, and due date, and give it a name. So that creates the project within Share, and as you can see, it sort of put that in. So from here, we've gone down the level, so you can go back to your projects. We can either click on the upload or create folders to put certain files in, or we can just drag and drop. So here's my files that I want to load, so I can just drag those in, and then it will upload each of those files. So once the files have uploaded, you'll see them all listed in here. First thing you may want to do is use your main assembly, for example, and I can then go and set that as my project thumbnail, and you can see that then sort of indicates it here. We still have a number of other tools up here, so we can upload more files, create folders. Once you've selected a file, you can then download it to your downloads folder. You can delete files, rename folders and add descriptions, and add or remove column names. So if you click on there, you can see the list of sort of standard columns that you might have, and change those around. And you can sort of send a message or create a task, which I'll cover back later. So the other thing, as I said, we installed the connector, so we can go down to our command bar, and you can see we can go sync files, and that will sync everything down to your standard folder. We can also go into settings, and I want to select which projects we want to work with, so I can put that in here and go OK. So if we went back to it now, so now if we go back into the connector, you'll see that you can see the files are listed in here, and we can then sort of just click on there and it'll open it within the folder, and you can see that we are looking at a connector folder here under my profile and within the Jigsaw project. So we can open Solid Edge files from here. Alternatively, we can go into Solid Edge and open it from there. I'll show you that in a minute. So if we want to, we could click on the view and markup icon for the part, and that takes us into view and markup for the armature. So you can see here we can sort of rotate and view what we want. We have various tools across here. We can do a markup, do a measure. So if we wanted to measure point to point, we can measure edges. So if I pick up on here, that gives me the radius of that. We can do a delete, or we can set units in here as well. So from here, we can do a sort of a freehand sketch, a ellipse or circle or rectangle, and we can sort of just put a box around here, add some text, and add the text that we want to. And from here, then we can just save our markup. And done. So that then gets put over into the markup layers over here. So if we sort of rotate around, we can always go back to that markup that we had initially. So we can see that in here. If we had an assembly open, you'd see the full list of parts in here. We've got the ability to fit contents and zoom in to an area. We can turn perspective on and off, or we have our viewing cube that you'd normally see within Solid Edge, working in exactly the same fashion as you'd have it. We can also do a section view as well, so you can choose which plane you want to section on. And then once you've defined your plane, let's go back to a isometric view. You've got the ability to sort of raise or lower that to define the sort of section positioning as you need to. And that's about all that we need to go. We've got a display or hide the navigated pane as well. So once we've done that, we'll see that we can then go back to our part. It will reload all the files within the project, and that sort of covers off here. So if we go back to projects, you'll see that our icon here is used for that one that we selected. So from here, we can go back to our home tab. And now within the home tab, you'll see that we have our last project that we used, and the markup is shown here as well as a recent document. So within Solid Edge, you'll see that we're on the file open, and you can see the shared folder here now. So first things first, you need to sign in. So once you've signed in, we see the exactly same sort of structure as we had before. We can double click on the project, and from here we can see the files when they load. So here we can then just use the open in Solid Edge. I didn't explain earlier, but obviously this is the markup, this is the Solid Edge, and this is the icon for setting up an augmented reality. So if I open up in Solid Edge, that will open the part in here, and obviously you can see that we've got the features, and you've got the little icon over here. which allows us to go in and create markups from within Solid Edge, and obviously view the markups that have been already created. So just look in here in the navigator, we'll see our markup, and just clicking on here, I can see that the radius is set to 3.5, and I want to increase it to 8. So then you can sort of. So the final couple of areas in here that I want to cover, you may want to share a project. So we'll click on the share icon, and I don't have any other users in here, so I can click on add users. I haven't set up any other available users, so I can invite a new guest. I'm going to specify that it's external, so just put in an email address and add them in. So now you can see that we've got this. We can specify that they've got markup only, markup and download, or full access. So you choose the requirements you want. This is an external person, so I specified that it's going to be markup only, and then I can just go in and share, and that goes off and sends them the message with the link to the project. So finally, back in the project, if you select a file that you're interested in, we can send a message and create tasks. So again, use the email address that you've got, put in the message, and obviously send the message. Alternatively, we've got the ability to create a task. So we can do that, put in a description, specify the priority, give it a due date, and just specify the status, so whether it's to do, in progress, paused, or completed. And obviously once these have been created, we can actually see these in the task board. So you can see we now have a full review of where this item is at. They can update it at any time, and yeah, this just gives a quick overview of what Xcelerator Share is.